Today we're taking a look at a special and kind of unusual ration coming to us straight from Russia with love. This is a Russian aviator ration, or a pilot's MRE. This baby is designed for Russian pilots who are either on very long duration missions, or if you're flying close air support or something and sortie after sortie after sortie, only landing just long enough to refuel and rearm. This would be the ration that you carry with you in the cockpit, because you're going to need to eat something and you can't exactly pull over at the local McDonald's. Let's crack this sucker open and see what's in there. So the packaging itself is actually very similar to the Russian White Star MRE, but it is smaller. Pretty heavy. It's actually surprisingly heavy. Must be some interesting items in there. My guess is that the items in here generally tend towards finger foods. Obviously, being confined to an ejection seat limits your ability to use heating elements or utensils, probably a lot of protein bars and things like that, but nevertheless, items that would be easy on your stomach. Interesting. Okay. First up, we've got apple puree, natural fruit puree. Not a surprise. We've got zucchini caviar. Are you kidding me? Meat pate, otherwise known as liver pate. This is pepper spoons, if this is what I think it is. Beef stew with potatoes, army chocolate. Okay, let's get this organized. I have to admit, I am really surprised by these items. These items are the exact same items that come in the Russian MVD, IRP, the meal of the internal ministry. It's the exact same components, and I can't imagine how this in any way, shape, or form is specifically designed for an aviator, a pilot, who's strapped into an ejection seat and has got to figure out how to eat and take bites, in between controlling the aircraft, shoveling the food in during a brief break in a mission. This just doesn't make any sense to me. I would have expected high sugar, high caffeine items that were designed to be eaten by hand. This bad boy actually came with 3 spoons. Tea, sugar, chocolate, salt, pepper. Basic, simple meal. Okay, that makes sense. No heating element with it, so we're gonna eat the items cold. And I'm gonna do the best I can to simulate the experience of eating these in an ejection seat. So let's get going. All right, so this is probably about as close to the experience of sitting in an ejection seat inside an aircraft, confined to that seat, strapped in, and bouncing around with all the turbulence going on as I'm gonna get. I am decidedly uncomfortable right now. So let's dive right in with this main meal, beef stew with potatoes. I feel almost stupid reviewing these items because I've had them all before in other Russian MREs. Smells a little different. I think the last time we had this meal was beef stew with buckwheat. This is with potatoes. This is clearly a newer MRE than any other Russian MRE I've eaten. Could be this year. In fact, I think it was a 2024 ration. And you know what? Quality's gone down. The meat tastes like it's much lower quality than previous Russian rations I've had in the past. It's got kind of a nasty, slimy taste to it, whereas previously it had a nice, corned beefy flavor. This is something more like I would have found in a can of off-brand Spam or something like that. It's not terrible. If I was good and hungry, I would eat it. It's not terrible. It's not great either. I'm just kind of imagining myself right now, though, at, 30,000 feet in the cockpit of a Tupolev bomber, flying over enemy territory. Maybe I'm over Alaska. 16, 18-hour mission. Yeah, I'd be pretty hungry. I'd want to eat this, but it's not ideal. Life is sometimes wonderful and amazing, and it is other times chaotic and unpredictable. Tomorrow is not a guarantee for any of us. If the unthinkable were to happen, and God forbid it, you didn't make it home tonight, what would happen to the people in your life that you love and care about? The people that make your life amazing? The grief of losing you is going to be horrible enough. Are they now going to have to sell their home? Are dreams of college going to just slip away? If these questions bother you, then we need to have a conversation. Click the link below in the description to schedule a 20-minute complimentary conversation with me As a registered representative of New York Life, securing your future against life's catastrophes is what I do. The conversation is free. There's no pressure. There's no obligation to buy anything. But that 20-minute conversation might be the difference between your secure financial future and the dreams of your loved ones slipping away. Nobody wants to talk about this stuff, but life happens. Make sure you're prepared for it. Next up is the meat pate. Different. Okay, I don't think this is liver. It's something else. I don't know. I can't really compare it to the taste of anything else. It's kind of got like a generic, bland, meaty flavor. It doesn't have that irony smell of liver. Yeah, it's not liver. It's just some kind of meat paste, what the East Germans would have called doctor sausage, Russian bologna. Next up, we have the zucchini caviar. Again, had this before. It's nothing special. It's not great. It's not terrible. It smells fresh. Kind of looks and smells like a thick tomato soup. Tastes like a spicy zucchini tomato mix. Again, hungry, you'll eat it. Would you look forward to it? Would you be excited about it? Nah. What really surprises me about this ration is there doesn't seem to have been any consideration whatsoever for the fact that it's going to be difficult for a pilot who's strapped into an ejection seat. He's got his feet on the pedals. He's got the control stick in front of him here. You just can't move around a lot. So having to open these packages and then eat them with a spoon like this, it's like what they thought was, how difficult can we make this for our pilots? Do you think we could make it really difficult for them to eat these rations? Why, yes. Just give them the same thing we give them in every other ration. Interestingly, the taste of the vegetable caviar is growing on me a little bit. Not something I'd want to eat while in the air. Next up, we have our apple puree. This is not the utterly delicious apple jam that comes in some other Russian MREs. This is just regular old applesauce. Let's see how it tastes. Okay, that's very good. Whoa! Wow, it's very tart. They're using some Granny Smith apples there for sure. Woo! That's the way applesauce is supposed to taste. It shouldn't be super sweet. The stuff we get here in the United States is more of a dessert than a fruit. This is good. I'm enjoying this. This item, to me, makes sense for a pilot. It's got sugar content in it, so it's good for alertness and giving you a quick burst of energy. All those heavy meat items, it seems crazy to me to feed that to a pilot. You know, I think the last thing on this planet you would want to deal with as a pilot in combat is A, the sudden urge to take a shit, or B, any kind of gastrointestinal distress or upset or nausea or anything like that. That's got to be catastrophic if you're in the air. Sugary fruit puree makes sense to me. Heavy duty meat and potatoes that might have you running for the shitter? That doesn't make any sense. Now we've got the kind of item that I would have expected to find in a pilot's ration, a chocolate bar. I've had this Russian chocolate bar before. It's nothing to write home about. It is not particularly tasty. This is no Hershey's milk chocolate, that's for sure. Now this makes sense to me for a pilot. Yeah. Decently okay dark chocolate. Good. Caffeine, sugar for alertness. You can break it up into little pieces so you can eat it slowly over time. No rush to consume it. Just take a bite when you want. Could last you the whole mission. Not too shabby. Now we come to our bag of tea. Unless Russian aircraft are far more advanced than I assume they are, and they come with a built-in water boiler, I do not see how we're going to make a cup of tea while in the air. So we're going to skip it. Trust me, Russian MRE tea just tastes like regular old commercial tea. If you got rid of this pillow, this chair would be a lot more comfortable. Yeah, that's better actually. So my overall impression of the Russian Pilot's MRE is a big fat First of all, these are the exact same items that came in the MVD IRP. So, hey, Russia, I get it. You know, we're recycling items to get maximum usage out of them. but I just don't see how some of these items make sense for a pilot. Beef stew with potatoes and meat pate make zero sense to me. The fact that you have to eat them with a spoon is problematic, and I just can't imagine what it would be like to get the feeling that you suddenly have to take a shit at 30,000 feet. I think it would be a real problem. But if you enjoyed that video and you want to see some other Russian rations I've reviewed in the past, check out this video over here. If you haven't already done so, make sure you're subscribed. Click that bell, click that like button.
Click the button.
Mama Scout says hello. Click the bell, click the like button, and I will see you next time. Peace.